That's all right then. Okay, all right. Let's get on with it. Okay, so first of all, we have got Wilson Serrano, and this is Rebirth. It was all right. Oh, so good. Yeah, Wilson Serrano is in the chat right now. What a powerful tune. I agree with, I think it was Dino that said it sounded a bit like Cherry Blossom. Cherry Blossom being, was it Marcel Woods? A tech trance tune, circa 2008, maybe a little bit earlier, around that time. I felt that there was a bit of that kind of tech trance feel to it. Very uplifting as well, very melodic in that. Great rumble in there. So we've got that wonderful juxtaposition between the tough, relentless movement in the percussion and then the floatiness, the arps, the unpredictability, yet also making complete musical senseness of that arp and the counter melody. And the way that it took us all on a journey without it becoming stagnant, ever evolving, kept moving through, but also importantly felt like one whole piece. Really, really good. Yeah. Composition wise, great. Arrangement, fantastic. Sonically, it sounds very, very well put together. Yeah. And what a great name as well, Rebirth. It feels like this was a big tune for you. And I know, Wilson, you've not sent anything in for a while, or at least you've not been on the show for a while. So maybe you've had some kind of rebirth, you know? I think we all do as artists. And again, as I've always talked about, the parallel journey that we have as artists, whatever that is. It doesn't need to be professional artists. Everyone's talented. Everyone's got creativity within them. God, I was going to say now. Parallel journey with self-development and self-expression. When you're going through hard times, having a breakdown, as I like to call it, a breakthrough, and being able to kind of process and record those moments in time, be it the breakup, you know, the one that got away, rebirth, not Roy Orbison, Rob Tessera. He's made us. What the fuck? I got the R and the O, not Roy Orbison, Rob Tessera. He's made a tune called Uncontrollable Joy. You know, and I love having dyslexia. It's brilliant. It's a very good thing to have when you're a creative, because you just get things mixed up in a really cool way. Yeah, like it feels to me like this must have been, you know, one of those breakthrough tracks that you've made, Wilson. Every single one that you've sent in has been outstanding, and you have a sound. Having a sound is quite a special thing to have. Wilson said something. Had a system breakdown and couldn't get the door working. When I got it working, that was the first melody I made. Okay, that'll work. That works. So you didn't have a breakdown. Your computer did. More than a month. Mate, I would have had a breakdown in actual life if that had happened to me. Yeah. Well done. That was the first melody that you made. Awesome. Yeah, next best thing. Yeah, what would you prefer to have? An actual breakdown, or your car breakdown, or your computer? You know, let me know. It scares me to think that I wouldn't be able to make music. Yeah, it's kind of like breathing, isn't it? It is. Wilson, I just feel very, very inspired by that. And it's brilliant. And welcome back. And I hope that your computer behaves itself. Thank you, mate. And guys, can you please go and follow Wilson Serrano over on SoundCloud? The link is in the chat now. And of course, if you're listening back to this on YouTube, all of the links to every single artist is going to be in the comments. Please go and support them and leave them a comment on their SoundCloud. Share it. Tell them how amazing you think they are, because they probably don't know. They probably still think, oh, it's not good enough. Yeah, it is, baby. You just don't know it yet. Wilson music was felt, heard, and crossed multiple thresholds. There you go. My computer needs replacing. I couldn't go without my PC in studio. Oh, it's a stale point for me at the moment, that one. Yeah, I need to upgrade my PC. Things are getting expensive. I really wanted to get a new PC with a friend of mine today. But it's so expensive that I have to do this on like a finance deal or like on my credit card, and then just try and pay it off as quickly as possible. But I don't know about you guys, but how are you feeling about the whole RAM, GPU, inflated prices situation? You don't need a new PC. Trust me, you don't. Just freeze your tracks. I don't want to. It's not just that. You are, of course, you're completely right in what you're saying, but I do need a new PC. There's a few things for me, because I use this PC for a lot of things. I use it for streaming. I use it for music production, and I use it for film editing. And if I'm using it at capacity now. And oh, hang on a second. I need to say some thank yous. Oh. Danny, thank you for 39 months. Love you. Gav Hobbs, thank you for 48 months. Love you. And Tony, thank you for 15 months. Honestly, you guys, I don't know how you tolerate this. I don't know what's wrong with you lot, but thank you. And don't get better, please. Ever. Thanks. 66 months for Richie. It's mental, isn't it? Oh my God, we're still doing it. How long have we done the demo drop for? Like 5 years now? 4 or 5 years? Oh my God, Ronnie Louise, thank you so much for 5 gifted subs. Yay! Never get better. Never get better. Thank you for my Christmas present, babe. I love you. It's less like tolerating, more like fitting in. I like that. I feel like I found my tribe with you guys. We are a small but mighty group, and it's just lovely, especially when I get to meet you guys in person as well. And I feel like I know you so well through your music, and through our mutual love for music and geeking out and stuff. But yeah, I it feels like I'm at school. And we're all kind of like talking, when we should be like learning something. But yeah, I want to get a PC more than I need, but I do also feel like I'm pushing it now with this PC. It's 5 years old now. I'm still rocking a 2070 Super. It's a Ryzen 7, and it's fine, but I would like to be more streamlined with the work that I do. And the other thing that I've noticed as well, because I like to do music production live streams and record at the same time, and it throttles my computer too much when I've got FL Studio open plus OBS plus recording and the use of more than like, it's fine in the beginning parts of a project, but you know, when you get to the end bits, or if I've got like, I mean, I still got things like delay compensation on and stuff, but because I like doing synthesis, and if I've got like a long release on something, and you know, I would like to not have to worry about that kind of stuff. I would like to be a bit more, you know, I don't want to, I've done this for so long, you know, turning off aero theme and, you know, getting the very last bit out of my 2 GB of RAM back in the day. You know, I want a system that is going to be like future proof for as much as it possibly can, because I don't think it will last another year without it running into more issues. So, but yeah, that's my thought with it. But I got to a point where being ahead with releases, demo drops like this is a great way to stay consistent. Oh, Wilson, thank you. That makes things like that is very, very helpful for me to hear, because it makes it all worth it. So thank you. My PC likes to freeze for 3 minutes, but it always comes back. That's good. That's good. But yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you for all of the gift subs there and stuff as well. And thank you for resubbing. Hello, Lance. My XP used to boot up using 256 megabytes of RAM back in the day. Do you remember how long it used to take as well? XP was probably my favourite operating system. 64, gold edition, I think. And I really like Windows SP1 as well. Windows 7 SP1. Never, ever, ever, ever had 8. I never had Vista. I went kicking and screaming to Windows 10. Didn't like it. Not in the beginning. Remember all the driver signage issues and then I rolled back to Windows 7. I was like, yep, that's it. And then Windows ME. I was watching Cyber Steve, you make a good point there. I was watching a YouTube video that was talking about Linus Tech Tips, Linux versus Windows, and the pros of a Linux system. Many errors, yeah. But yeah, it's sometimes having that many kind of like options can be also quite debilitating. And a few people have mentioned, because I've talked about getting a new PC, and they're like, why don't you just get a Mac with like this M2 chip or whatever? And at first I was like, no, because I used to have a Mac. And when I had a Mac, I didn't speak like this. No. I don't know why it used to speak like that, but the wind must have stuck or something, huh? But I always thought to myself, I'm not going to go back there. You know, I'm a different person now. I like to close my windows on the right-hand side of the window, not the left-hand side of the window. I like to use control, not command. I like a right-click, thanks. I don't want to scroll up for down and down for up. Nuh-uh-uh. I don't want things to just work. I don't want security. I want my PC. So yeah, I have been thinking about Mac again. Everyone else's Mac as well. It's like I did a writing camp recently with my masters, and I was the only one that uses Mac. And everyone else is on Logic as well, Logic and Ableton. I'm on FL Studio on my Windows PC. Not that it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. I am too old to care what people think of me. I'm not going to be pressured into getting a Mac for those reasons. But I did find it interesting. So, Mick Ritchie, the only Mac I like is a Big Mac. Nice. How many times have you lost your plug-in collection? Ooh, interesting question there. I will say probably not ever. Probably not ever. I've actually still got DVDs of installers. I mean, the installer's probably obsolete now anyway, but Cubase is cool. Like, all of it's cool. Like this, we don't have this kind of like, oh, you But I do have conversations where people do say that about FL Studio, and I'm like, cool. What, you mean Fruity Loops? Fruity Loops. Yeah, that's right. Imagine that would be the ultimate flex. You're using Music 2000 or Dance EJ, and you've made like the best banger ever, and everyone's playing it. And like, yeah, now what? Huh? Precisely that voice. It is though, isn't it? And what you using that for? Like, FYI, they're all the same audio engines now anyway. Bore off. Anyway. Thank you, Wilson. Next up, we are going to put on the amazing Noel Nasty. He isn't nasty, though. He's really sweet. He's lovely. I produced a full album on music for the PlayStation. Asked Chris Hampshire. Did you really? Me? I mean, I am not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. That's awesome. By the way, we've mentioned this before, but some of you might not know. If you do remember Dance EJ, you can buy Dance EJ and also download all the installers for Rave EJ, Dance EJ, Hip Hop EJ, all of them, and the sample packs from the website. And you get like 2 weeks to use it for free as well. If you want a bit of nostalgia, it was well good fun. I did it a while ago. Okay, Noel Nasty. Here we go. And this is called the Tumbler. So bearing in mind, Noel Nasty has not been producing for very long, and you're going to love this. Here we go. There we go. That is Noel Nasty, the Tumbler, for not producing for a long time. It's really, really well put together. Really well put together. Something that I could hear. It's a very, it's a very small thing. That's what she said. But my ear can't not hear it. So, you know, your wop wop, it is ever so slightly out of tune with everything else, like your top line, which is and then your wop 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 is it's not even, it's maybe half a semitone. I'm just going to go back to it and show you now what I mean. That one, that bowl. It is our digital dreams is here. We're classically trained. We can hear this stuff a mile away. In the realms of things within hard house, it's not a massive deal because hard house kind of lends itself to things being detuned, and that can also be a stylistic choice. But it's very subtle. It needs coming up by about 50 cents. It just needs tuning a little bit, just coming up a little bit. Again, this is exactly the reason why it's important to talk about this, actually, is because hard house is very sample based. This is a good opportunity to talk about this because hard house is sample based. We use a lot of samples in many different types of dance music anyway, but those samples have been sampled by from somewhere, right? And when they go into the piano roll, it's going to come up as just C5. That doesn't obviously mean that it is in that key. So we have to learn to use our ears. Yes, there are plugins that will tell you what the key is of something, but if it's a very short sample, it might not always get it right. Also, if it's got a bit of portamento to it, it's a bit bendy, or it's a bit covered, it might not get it right. So always use your ears. So Lance is saying get G-Tune VST. It will tell you the key based on the frequency. Maybe as like a little tool to help. That might be a good idea. If it's free, then yeah, definitely. But just be aware of that when you use samples. And you do need to use samples because this is the kind of genre which was built on samples. And if you don't use samples, it will be more difficult for you to get something sounding authentically hard house. So not about, oh, you use samples, you shouldn't have done that. It's about when you use them, just learn how to tune them up, how to deal with them, and how to get things to lock in so that everything's kind of like singing from the same hymn sheet. I don't know why I said that. Being in the root key and in a harmonic of the root key would be a more specific way to put that. But yeah, that's the only thing that I could hear that was sticking out to me. But you sample against a sine wave to ear. Where is it? Yes, that's a great suggestion, and yes, that's a good way of doing it. Just get yourself, open up Sylenth, go to initiate preset, simple sine wave, and then play it, and then play the sound. Yeah, very, very good point. Yeah, that's kind of like the only thing that was kind of like sticking out to me. My body's killing me today. I've been to the gym today, and I'm in bits. I've been going up on my weights. I'm on 10 kilograms now. Do you want to check out the guns? Look. Look. Yeah. Yay! I still can't do a pull-up though. I do like my hanging on the bar when I get to the gym because I like how it feels. Then it hurts my hands. I'm getting like this scallops. Scallops, you know, the hard bits. They're called scallops. They're not called scallops. What are they called? Yeah, hanging decompresses the spine. Yeah, it's awesome. It's like, oh, not blisters. No, not blisters. Better than blisters. Calluses. What did I say? Scallops. Oh, dyslexia. Calluses. Fucking scallops. Get in. Yeah, I'm getting the calluses now, which is really cool. I love it though. I love going to the gym. I go 3 times a week. My farts stink. Taking loads of protein drinks and stuff. It's brilliant in this house. Yeah. Yeah, it's calluses. That's right. Calluses. Callies. Anyway, where were we? Noel Nasty, the Tumbler. Mate, you should be... Protein bars are legendary. Mate. I sometimes think I've got a dog. You know the smell of wet dog fart. Just glad I don't have any students in at the moment, especially in a contained studio like this. All that methane. Anyway. Sorry. Yeah, that's the only thing I'd say, Noel, with this is just tune up that wall. I really, really like this. Someone mentioned about it being too mono. I mean, Hard House, again, is very mono-based. You might want to check up on what it sounds like on different systems. So Control 4 mentioned that he couldn't hear any bass on his laptop. Obviously, that's because it's a laptop, but it would be great if you can get this track to kind of translate over different devices, phones, car, TVs, laptop, club. And you'll hit a sweet spot. Not necessarily need to bother with that with this tune because you're just getting used to doing tunes at the moment. But that will come with time. Yeah, checking in mono, all of the above, have fun. And when you hit those projects where you're like, okay, well, I've learned so much from the last project that I did. This time, I'm going to work more on my sub-frequencies. I'm going to work more on my sound separation, stereo width. You know, there should be, in the early days, there should always be something in the back of your mind that you're kind of like considering when making that next tune. Something that you felt in the last tune, okay, next time I'm going to work on X, Y, and Z. A little distortion on a separate send channel, cut off the low end from it and fade in add a little bit of mid top so it pops out on phones, laptops. Nice. Let's just go over that again. Can you confirm this, anyone? Use mono bass and mono kick for hard house always. Okay, let's do this one by one. Okay, so this one, in my opinion, traditionally, the reason why we had mono bass, mono kick was because, number one, nightclubs used to be the only place where you could really hear this kind of music, mainly, like, first of all. And also that kind of music, hard house, would be pressed onto vinyl. Now, the problem that would happen when you have bass with stereo information or a kick drum with stereo information is the vinyl, that the needle would literally vibrate out of the groove because of the stereo information. These days, I think the jury's out really on whether or not you need to be so like thoughtful about that. I would use width on a bass line as a layer, but I wouldn't use it in the whole thing. And that is specifically for hard house. So, the answer is it depends. The best thing to do is try it yourself. Try it yourself and see what happens. Listen to it on a proper system if you can. And you said about sidechain. Yeah, sidechain or shaping the sounds, very, very important for the separation. And what did Lance say that I really liked? I thought kick phased, especially in the mix, if they're stereo. Parts of the kick will phase if you're mixing. You mean like when you're DJing and you're mixing? Yeah, and that's a nice sound. That's a pleasant sound when doing that. But they wouldn't phase each other completely out because there would be two slightly different kick drums. Even if they were really, really, really similar, they wouldn't be, they wouldn't be exactly on top of each other all the time either. So they wouldn't completely phase invert to the point where you wouldn't hear it. To give what I'm just reading through these. Yes, I agree, Devil's Reject. To give width to a bass line for me would be a top high layer, bit of delay reverb, but that's for the ear candy. Yes. Yes. And then I can't find Lance's thing that Lance said, but I agree, Lance, that you said something about something. Come on, brain. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it if you try. Come on, recall the information. Use your random access memory. Woo! Sends. Distortion on a send. I like that idea. Can you please explain to me? I just remembered it. I didn't read it. Actually, my brain went, there you go, have the information. I went, thank you very much. Yes. Yeah, can you just talk me through why you were putting the distortion on a send? Is it so that you can use it like in a parallel kind of a way? Because I do that in a similar way, but I would use a bit of saturation on a layer, like on a hi-hat layer, or but I wouldn't use it on the full thing. But I do like to use it a little bit. But then I would just literally mix amount it to 50. Now, in my mind, that would probably be similar as using a send. I don't think I even use sends anymore. I haven't used a send for a long time. I guess it's just like personal choice, isn't it? But yeah, I agree. I think that those are really good suggestions, and it's really important. It's really interesting how we've all got our own different ways of doing things. Kick bass untouched, mid leads FX slightly 3 to 5%. Chorus percussion is 30% parallel dirt. Got it. Okay, Lance says, send bassline to a separate channel with distortion effects. I can then cut low end. And then EQ top mid to fix the mix. Okay, cool. Because you got more control over it that way. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I like that. That's brilliant. It's quite similar to is it called the Abbey Road reverb technique, where they would put an EQ before, they'd put an EQ after the reverb on a send as well. Thank you, Samurai. Saturn compresses the transient, trash creates character. It depends with Saturn. I think with Saturn, as long as you don't overdo it, I use the default and then use like the come on, brain, you can do it. I create a band, an EQ band in the area where I want to put some saturation, but I keep it very, very near to how it is in the default state, because I think the others can just be a little bit overbearing. A bit like Volcano 2. I love all the like weird noises in Volcano 2, but I never use them. I'm like, oh, that's good. And then I end up going, oh, it's just too much though, isn't it? Next track is D.J.S, the guitar song. Here we go. So just a little bit of context. D.J.S has a album out on my record label, Transportal Digital. And he is in a band. He's toured all over the world. He's now started to do trance production. He's amazing. And he has, on this particular tune, he has done a guitar thing. What do people playing guitars do? A guitar solo. He's done a fucking meow and stuff. But with his hands, like not with a mouse and a clickety clop and a macro. He's literally like learned to do it, the fool, for like, I don't know, 20 years. meow. I've got a mod wheel for that. Stupid. So here we go. This is D.J.S. and the guitar song. Wow, wow. Apologies for the slight changes in the volume at the start. I was just adding a bit of extra volume on my limiter, which I'm going to put off again now. It wasn't pushing into the limiter. I was just doing it for a little bit of extra volume. I presume that this is not mastered. So good. How well did that work? See, that's modulation, motherfucker. We have to put that shit in with an LFO. You're just doing it with your fingers, like some caveman. Ha! Good though, isn't it? So good. Yeah. Like, I tried playing guitar. Couldn't do it. It's just my fingers don't work like that. I can play Smoke on the Water. Like, that's about it. I did play violin for a few years, but no, always a piano girl. But it's just... I can't do it. Can't do it. But yeah, I so inspired by you, Damien. Honestly, like, we've had a lot of conversations about making music, and one of the things that I personally struggle with is getting into an idea, committing to an idea, working from that point. Once you've got that, you know, like, you're in and you've got that, but it's that jumping off point sometimes. And one of the things I remember you saying to me, Damien, is like, you said, I never have a problem thinking of, you know, finding inspiration and starting a new tune. And that to me is a sign of someone that should be an artist. Hi, Karsten. And I've heard your entire album. We've had the other stuff that you've sent in since then as well. You know, the fact that you just tapped into it. You tapped into it. And this is one of the great things about playing an instrument, understanding music theory. Because another thing, by the way, that D.J.S, aka Damien, does is he teaches drums, he teaches guitar, teaches music theory. And he's just a joy to be around. He's done a back-to-back trance vinyl live stream with me, for those who didn't see it, a few weeks ago now. And he brought in his favourite vinyl, trance vinyl, that he's collected over the years. I back him all the way. Honestly, he's just an amazing person and so talented. Yeah. And this track, again, I know you're being tutored by, I don't want to get it wrong again because of dyslexia. Steve Allen. Yes, thank you. I thought it was because I said the other Alan. Yeah, from Alan and Envy. Yes. So Steve Allen is such a great person for you to be mentored by for this stage of your musical journey, and your music is just getting better and better and better. The main thing is you have these creative, authentic ideas, and like how cool is that to put your own riff into a trance tune? And I loved the way that everything else worked with it. All of your arps in there. You had another lead that was kind of working with it. The pads, all underneath it, and that being the main focal point, almost as if that is the singer. You know, that's the singer. The guitar is the singer. It hasn't been done like that before. I'm sure there are trance tunes that have done that. but it's a risky move, isn't it? Give it that human touch. Exactly, Damien. We've got 2 Damiens in. Yay! Collecting Damiens now. I've got 2 now. I need 1 more, and then I get a free coffee. My guitar was to replace a female opera vocal. I get that 100%. I get it 100%. Because it's the expression that we're after. And you can hear the expression, that modulation, that the ear candy of it. That, you know, that's what we like. It's that movement, and yeah, it's beautiful. I'm so proud of you. So if you guys can please go and follow Damien. Thank you. Well done, mate. Love you. Next, we're going to put on Ultimate Records UK, who I met over on TikTok. Here we go. This is a track called The Dreamer, which is a nice little remix of a certain Lisa Lash's tune. It's brilliant. I love it. Okay, where's my folder? I've got new folders now because we're in 2026 now, so I've had to like rejiggle my library. Okay, here we go.
are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
Count to three.
dreamers of dreams. Count to 3.
Wow. Cut off the tail end of your delay and your reverb at the end there, but I'll allow it. It's all right. It's okay. Shh. It's fine. Oh, that would be literally the only thing that I'd say is just go back and make sure that you leave the tail in. How good was that? Yeah, so Damien says, I'm not normally a fan of donk but bass, but this is really nicely done. It's a very, very interesting donk, that. And we have a donk expert in the chat as well, Mr. Heads Up. And you've impressed him, you've impressed me 100%. What I liked about that donk was you have like a layer in there where you've got like a really quick rate LFO or something where it's like we've got like some texture in there, and it's really pricks up the ears. Thanks, Chaz 561234456. I am a sexy fit lady. I love that donk, and I would love to know how you did that donk. How did you donk, huh? What did you do to it? It was really good. Let's have another listen to it. Here we go. Let's listen to that donk. This is me circa 2010. I would be like finding the cleanest one of that I could get and then nicking it to use as a bedding loop in a track. It's like some kind of ring modulation or something on there. It's really, it's really nice. Really, it's like ASMR. This is donk. And that top octave, it's like, that's like a psytrance trick. You know, because you wouldn't normally put a bass line like that. But just for one note, come on. I love how you done that, because it stays in keeping with the melody from the original, because the original does that. Just taking one of the notes, sticking it up an octave. It's so cool. So cool. Is it a really low octave rumble causing a bit of cheeky cancellation in the mid layer? Ooh. Ooh. Have you told us? Have you mentioned it? And have you said? How did you do it? Huh? How did you get your donk? Do you even donk, bro? So good. So good. Tronicate, yes, you are a sexy fit lady. Yes, you are. Don't you worry. It's fine. No, I don't reveal my secrets. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Play it again. Let's play it again. There we go. Yeah. It's awesome, that. So, yeah, well done. Awesome tune. Okay. So, yeah, make sure you go and go and follow Ultimate Records UK. And next up, we have got KINETIC, and this is He Who Waits.
Here's to waiting.
I love this. Very, very good. You said there's a surprise at the end. I'll just go to the end. Hang on. What was the surprise? You lied to me. Did I miss it? Oh, you meant at the end of the tune when the riff changes. Yeah, sorry. I did hear that. Do you know what I thought you meant? I thought you meant that you'd put like a little thing at the end. You know, because like DJs don't always pull down the volume on the track when it runs out. Sometimes people would put something like, "What are you doing in here with that hammer?" Or like, "Dickhead," or something like that. And then everyone in the club would hear it. Like, oh. They were like, "Oh, I didn't know that." At least I think that's what people have done. If they haven't, I'm going to do it. Don't you steal my idea, okay? Yeah, I thought you'd put some vocal samples in the end. Thank you. Put a little jump scare at the end. Yeah, I agree, Lance. Lance is saying it's a very BK-esque track. I agree. The very simple going up, dun 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 dun, in your little melody. Dun 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 dun. Very Eternal, wasn't it? BK Eternal does that. Nice and simple, getting to the point. Yeah, leave the hammer at home, please. Oh yeah, right at the end. Imagine. But do it in progressive trance. You know, when everyone's like in the moment. Do it at the end of a Ricardo Villabubu's track. And just... Yes, I really, really like this tune. Devil's Reject 81, aka KINETIC. I'm so glad that we have listened to your track, because I know you sent it in a while ago, and you've reminded me to play it today. It astounds me. Like, this is a really good quality hard house tune. It's very, because the thing is, if someone's not like used to making hard house, I'll use myself as an example here. When you start making it, it doesn't really sound like hard house, because you might make the mistakes of not using the right samples, or, you know, you just kind of like learning how things fit together and stuff. And this is something that, you know, I'm just surprised that I haven't heard of you more. Maybe it's because you haven't. I know you said in the chat that you hadn't made anything for about 6 years. Please make some more, because this is really good. It's really, really good. I tried and it ended up being more hard trance sounding. Yeah, I'm the same. I put too much melody in and it turns into hard trance. I like gated kicks though, and I think that's kind of like my problem stroke mode, or, you know, the direction where my sound goes in. So I completely understand that. I have to really like concentrate. If I'm doing a hard house tune, I have to really strip back on the melody and not put too much like pads in, and, you know, too much progression. You know, it needs to be straight and down the line, stabby more than journeyful kind of thing. Hello, Zuby. Zuby says, does everyone here like trance? I do. Me. Oh, thank you. Thank you, TTVS. I need to know how to say this properly. TTVS Dagamer. Dagamer. I'm going to just call you Dagamer. Yeah, we all like trance. We all like trance here. The concentration faces I was pulling to make my hard house one because I was having to strip it right back compared to bounce. Yep, it is hard to not put loads of stuff in to a project when, you know, we're wanting to make something of a certain genre. So I found out about you and Alex Kidd and Kid Chaos remix your Amber theme. Ah, nice to meet you. Yeah, that's one of my favourites, that one. Overcooking. Yeah. Don't you think, though, that trance, yeah, we love our trance. Don't you think that it's important to know when one has overcooked one's project? In quite the same way, is it Rick Rubin? Rick Rubin says in his book, I'm going to paraphrase it now, but he says something along the lines of art doesn't have a finishing point, but it doesn't have an end point, but it finishes in interesting places. And I liked that. I liked the thought of that, as in it's never going to be done. You could tinker with it for a long time, forever, infinitely. Sometimes, most of the time, those tinkering bits and pieces here and there, no one else really is going to hear that. No one else is going to notice it. So it's important to know when to put down our tools and say, okay, this is done now. This is done now. But yeah, art never finishes. It never has an end point. It finishes in interesting places. So you gotta kind of go to that point before you understand when you overcooked it. So you got to overcook something in order to know that you've done it. I should be on radio. I am on radio. I have my own FM radio show on LDC Radio, 97.8 FM. LDC Radio on a Friday. Thank you, though. Thank you for saying that. Thank you. I have a great face for radio. It's okay. Yeah, Damien, you're right. You have to draw the line at some point and move on. It can be scary in quite the same way that it's scary to finish a project. You know, a lot of us will understand the 16-bar loop nightmare where we get stuck in the loop stage and then we're like, oh, fucking hell, I'm going to have to start arrangement now. But then when you do, you can see it. You can see the wood for the trees, but then becomes like, okay, now I really need to grow up and I need to like, how am I going to get from this section to this section? How am I going to get into the breakdown? You know, how am I going to start building up from the breakdown? Like, that's one of the major things for me is like instigating that, and like, you know, and eventually you will get there, but it's about perspective, zooming in, zooming back out again. So yeah, Zuby Music, yes, you can. All the details are on here, but there will be a bit of a wait. But if you send me a message on Facebook or Instagram on a Tuesday before 4 p.m, I can fast track your track. But we have all the ones in for today. But absolutely, please do. Please, that's what we're here for. We've been doing this show now for 4 or 5 years. 4 p.m. UK time, yeah. But yeah, please do. And welcome to our little corner of Twitch. It's such a great thing to be able to sit with you guys and geek out about plugins and talk about, you know, what we're doing in the studio and any issues that we're having, stuff that you want to, you know, you're trying to work through. If you've got any questions, please ask them in the chat as well, because most of us are very, very happy to help you, you know, with any technical, creative issues that you might have. We don't have any gatekeeping here. So yeah, that's what it's about. It's about a community. It's about sharing ideas, sharing techniques and things that we found that have worked. And each and every one of you has something or is good at some area of not just even music production, but stuff in general that you can teach someone else. And within doing that, when you impart your knowledge, you also gain it so much back from others as well. So yeah, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. We are all here to support each other. So yeah. Yes, that is how you grow. It's a very blinkered viewpoint to have to, be closed in with things. But I do understand it. I do understand that notion of, having, something that you might have recently worked out and you're like, okay, I don't want to really tell people about that. I get that 100%. I do kind of understand that. But as time goes by, the more experience you get as a producer, the more you'll realize how amazing it is that you've had a good conversation with someone and then they've gone, oh, well, actually, I use blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, fucking hell, I hadn't even thought of that. But those conversations will never happen if people are closed off. But it's a personal journey. And it's something that you will or will not, want to do yourself. So yeah, I love it too. I love talking to my producer friends. I find that it makes me a much better producer, and it makes it a lot less lonely as well. It can be a lonely journey sometimes, but the more we need each other at the end of the day, we really do. You can't do this on your own. You need someone to sign your track. You need a mate who will put you on that lineup. None of that happens when people are kind of like closed off and, kind of, out for themselves in that kind of a way. But I do, at the same time, I do understand, wanting to keep some things back as well. I do get that. By the way, Sergeant, I need to tell you about something. No, I'm not pregnant. I'm doing a DJ and music production retreat with Hard Trance Europe. I don't know if you guys know about this, but if you want to come to the Hard Trance Europe Hideaway Weekend Production and DJ Retreat, I'm just putting the link in the chat now. So what happens is it's in Devon. Let me just get the details up now. Hang on. So it's so it's on the 27th, 28th and 29th of March. So the 27th, 28th and 29th of March. And it's called the Hideaway Retreat. Weekend production and DJ retreat with myself, Guyver, Lab 4 and Nick the Kid, and we will all be teaching music production, DJing on Logic, Ableton, FL Studio. I'll be doing beginner Ableton and some intermediate FL Studio, and or if enough people were wanting just to come for the DJing aspect of it, you would just have 3 full days of DJ tutoring with me specifically. And if you take into context, like that's over 3 days, that in its own would be a lot cheaper than coming in for a private one-to-one with me. So the cost of it is, based on 2 sharing, is £750 for the 3 days, which is amazing value for money, because not only are we doing it, I think we start in the morning at like 10 and we work through till like 5 or 6, but we're all staying there together, we're all eating together, we're all playing pool, we'll be sat having conversations all weekend. I've done these kinds of retreats before, and they're just amazing, just to soak up not just the technical aspects of music production, but just to sit and become friends, because you do, after when you spend more than like a few hours with someone, you don't forget that connection, do you? Like it's amazing how much these kinds of retreats can really help boost your abilities, your technical stuff, you know, with music production. And also you get a free ticket to the High Trance Europe Weekender in Weston-super-Mare. And what else is there? There's loads of stuff. You get like a sample pack with it. You get the opportunity to DJ at one of the events, one of the HTE events. I think it's at the pier, Weston-super-Mare. I'm just getting the details up now. So yeah, so Nick the Kid and Lab4 will be covering Logic. Myself and Guy will be doing FL Studio. Ableton will be covered as well for beginners with me. The Guardian newspaper actually reviewed it as one of the top 5 music retreats last year as well. But yeah, I just wanted you guys to know about it if you wanted to. I was hoping you were going to say everyone just meets at mixes and rushes their tits off. I mean, it's your weekend. You can do that if you want. That's fine. I mean, I guess in a way that's partly training, isn't it? It's being a DJ. But yeah, that's the weekend retreat. I think there's 4 places left. So get in there while you can if that is something that you might be interested in. So yeah, again, KINETIC, thank you for sending this in. You were just kidding. Oh, well, it happens. Oh, well, it certainly did back in the day anyway. I think the kids these days are a bit more sensible than we were, to be honest. You can come, Chaz. Yeah, what we need to do is sign up on the thingamabob. The link's there. Yeah. So hopefully see some of you there. But honestly, these things are really good. It's very important to be around creatives, and it will be a really great place for you to soak up lots of technical, lots of philosophical music information, and, you know, make friends for life, really. So it is part of the training, isn't it, Damien? Definitely. But yeah, and it's all in a really beautiful setting as well. It's a really lovely building in the middle of nowhere. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So there we go. Next up, we have got Lemonchill back once again, like the Renegade Master he is. And this is Seshat. even the ending was epic. How good was that? Yes, organic is a very good word to use for that, heads up. Yes. Like, I don't know if Lemonchill's were this evening, but every single one of their tunes it has that sound, that organicness to it. They're all really different. They're all tracks that I would like to hear whilst something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it would take me away on a journey, like, so well. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You gotta know. You know what I mean, baby. Yeah, on the beach. That's right. On the beach. So nice. Ear sex. ASMR. Mmm. 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 Felt like I was getting massaged in my brain. So nice. Ear sex. Is that what I just said? What the fuck? I don't know what she's doing sometimes either. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Every single one of the tracks that Lemonchill sends in has this certain sound to it. It just feels so... It's a million miles away from like my way of doing things, and maybe that's why I appreciate it so much. Because it's just like, yeah, so chilled out, lemon chilled out. You know, it's like, yeah, I don't mind. Mine's more like, he's like, yeah, girl. It's awesome. I love it. I love it. It's it does sound sort of modular way of producing. Yeah, and it's often very interesting how listening to someone else's music, we can put our own kind of like idea on how they've made that tune. And like a lot of the time, I get quite like in my head about things like, oh yeah, and then you speak to the producer, you speak to the artist, and they're like, no, I just did it. You know, there wasn't really any like, they weren't thinking of something specific, but this is just expression. You know, for some people, this is just something that will come out so naturally. It'll just come out of them, and that's how it comes out. Not really even thinking about it in that flow state. And this is to me a very flow state sounding piece of music. It doesn't feel to me like Lemon Chill was like what I would be like, finding my sweet spot. Oh God, I want to get the notch on the fundamental, otherwise I'm going to die. You know, EQing the shit out of things. I don't feel like that's a problem. Yeah, I reckon he's just like, that'll do. It's cool. Send. Render. No, none of this. Last one, V2 underscore, this one underscore, final, in capitals, final one, V1 underscore, master. V2. Damien says it's art, like painting on a canvas, throw things and see what sticks works. Yeah, and keeping it to a message as well. I think we're all guilty of the V3 masters, aren't we? Oh, yeah, and we're going into decimal points as well. I mean, come on. Who are we kidding? And the crux of it is, you always go back to one of the earlier ones anyway. Wasn't that like a Michael Jackson story with Quincy Jones? I can't remember which one it was. But then they had like 80 different mix downs of it, and then they went with the second one. It's always the way. But, you know, that's perfectionism for you. Nature does not stress, neither shall we. Oh, I wish that was true. Well, it is. You're completely right in what you're saying, but I wish that I wouldn't get so stressed out. I get less stressed out about stuff now, but I do still kind of like, you know, have a bit of a... And when that happens, I kind of just leave the room for a bit. Yeah. I gave up on the naming thing. I sort by create date. Yeah, I do create date, and I also do the save point. What was the thing I was doing when I saved it? So it might be percussion or new bass or lead layer, whatever it is. I'll save it as that thing, and then I kind of like got a bit more of an idea of how I can like revert back, roll back, if you will. So good, lemonchill. Thank you for again inspiring us with your very chilled out, awesome ASMR on the beach music. That's very organised. Thank you. Thank you. I am actually quite organised now. I never used to be. Do you remember when you used to just have like bits of your in the playlist? I don't know if you do this with other DAWs, but I certainly did this with FL. I wouldn't have everything on like one channel of the playlist. Like if I had a lead, it could be up here for a bit, and then it could like also appear down here. And you know, when it doubles up, you're like, why is it doubling up? And then you're like, oh, what am I like? I've got two of them. I've got one up here, and then I have to scroll down, and there's another one right there. Anyone else? No, just me. Okay. I do color code stuff now, and I do label things only because, well, two things. It does keep me more organized, but because of sometimes leaving projects for sometimes a year, I'll leave stuff for at least 6 months sometimes, and I'll go back to it and be like, fucking hell, I forgot I even did this. If it's all labeled correctly and it's all color coded, you can kind of like get back into it, even if it's been like a few months or whatever. So I still do that now. You can see the individual days when I loaded the project up because everything is in a different place. Yep. No colouring or you honestly, you should see Guy's. I don't know. Guy can do like the whole track in one MIDI pattern. I'm like, why are you doing that? He's like, oh, just because I can. I just do it like this just to like work on ideas. I'm like, does that not confuse you? Are you not confused right now? Because I'm confused. It's crazy. But yeah, everyone's got their own way of doing it. I use a template now, already color coded and routed. Yeah, like we've talked about templates before on the show. I think templates can be a great time saver and to help keep you be in the creative mindset. Collect and save buttons, yeah. I have a template, but I don't have any like sounds in the template. My template is literally just for bus groups in the mixer. So I've got like my percussion kick on its own, bass bus group, loops, synths, effects, fills, acid, vocals, That's it. But they're all color coded. Only because I think it would become too samey for me personally if I had everything kind of built in, ready to go. Depends on the type of music you're making. If you're making something that's quite generic anyway, then like why not have it all kind of there? As long as you remember to swap out your cymbals occasionally, your crash cymbals, so that they're not all like phasing each other out. But I use red for bass. Yes! Did we just become best friends? Yes! Red for bass, green for loops, blue for percussion and the kick, orange or yellow for acid, pink for vocals, yellow for effects. Purple for percussions. Get out. Get out now. Blue for effects. No. Red is kick and bass. No, it's not. You're all wrong. Blue for kick. Thank you. Yes, blue for kick. Of course, blue for all my percussion. And sometimes if I'm feeling a little bit more organised, I'll do gradients of blue as well. So I'll click and select all, alt and click at the top one, and then click all of them that I want in that group, select all, and then I'll colour it with a gradient. Go. Has anyone else seen how like FL Studio has the worst names for the colours? It's like Earth Red. But Earth Red is not Earth Red at all. Like the names for them are not good. But you can use the hex codes, can't you, if you really wanted to, I guess, but I'm not that bothered. Puce, what colour is that? Earth Red, yeah, it's not in FL Studio. It's brown. Stupid. Vibrate. Bitch, it's orange! So true. Oh my god. It's not like haven't got the capabilities now. We've got GPUs that can like see a million different colours, I'm sure, even if we can't see them. But yeah, it's a thing. Anyway, let's move on. We've got Control 4 next. And this is a track called EGOROTH.
Architect of motion. distort motion.
Back to
Really, really nice. I felt like I had been assimilated by the Borg, and I didn't mind at all. So much, what was it, Heads Up called it? An ADHD playground. It's so true. Amazing. Absolutely loved it. I find it, I don't really know what else to say. What I liked, I do know what to say now. I liked the melodic progression of it and how it was very emotive. It was very, very moving. Like it was melancholy and then it was uplifting. And then we come to the next section and we've got the movement in the bass line again, which is like setting us off on another part of the journey. And then the melody and the synths and the progression comes back in again. And it's like this beautiful dance between the relentless forward motion of the psytrance and then the delicateness of the melody and that progression. And the arrangement is so important with things like this. The arrangement and the composition, it didn't feel like 7 minutes, did it? 7 minutes 36 and we played it from start to finish as well. It just took me on a major journey. Lived it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, just use a form of a track that you like. They all more or less share the same form. Form is very important. I completely agree. I love that Devil's Reject. It kept moving like a flower opening up. Yep. All of the above. Things have to happen, but they have to happen in a way that, number one, makes sense to us. In the Western world, we're very used to 4/4 beats to a bar. We're used to certain scales. We have certain rules and a certain theory to music production. And then within that, we have the structure. And just as important as the sounds and the emotion and the progression is the structure and the composition and the arrangement. And to think that you're doing all of that as one person. Control 4 is doing that as one person. I have to do that as one person. D.J.S does that as one person. You're all doing this. All of you are doing this as one person. Whereas in a lot of studio settings, we have songwriters, a composer, a writer, top liner, producer, sound engineer, mix down engineer. There are many, many people working on one project, and we're doing all of it. So if you can get good at getting the best out of your sound and your expression, and then also on top of that, and the sound design and everything else, like the composition, the arrangement can make or break a track. Control 4 says, I have 7 hats. What colour are they? I can say that in Japanese. Watashi no nana bushi desu. I have 7 hats. There you go. 332 days of learning Japanese, and I can say a lot of things now. There you go. Mate, I'm so proud of you. Guys, please make sure you go and follow Control 4. I am spamming his SoundCloud. Also, please remember that Control 4 also streams on Twitch and also does music production based streams as well occasionally. So please go and give him a follow as well. Awesome. Next, we've got DJ Kambel. Oh yeah. I know what you're thinking. Oh, this is going to be a good one. Well, yes, you would be right. If you haven't heard a DJ Kambel tune, where have you been, mother ligger? Where have you been? Hi, Laddie Laser. No Way to Lose is the name of this one. Okay, hold on to your hats. Hold on to your bushies. Okay? Here we go.
Strong like red days. strength I'm feeling. He knows how to make it hot. He is healing, babe. He is a special man, alone, rough and rugged. She is a diamond, she shines just like a nugget. I've got half the both, you just don't understand. Sometimes I call a dream. Sometimes I need a man. I do a change. They make me feel safe. They go straight to my gate. I do a change.
Go. That is DJ Kambel, No Way to Lose. Someone's asked in the chat, where can we get this? I don't know if it's out yet. My guess would be that he's just finished this tune, or maybe in the last month or so. The best thing you can do is follow him on SoundCloud. I'm just spamming the link again now. And send him a message on SoundCloud. You might find a clip of it on SoundCloud as well. Sometimes you'll find a lot of artists like Kambel have got a lot of free downloads as well of tracks that we might not be able to legally release because we do a lot of remixes. as they do. So, yeah, that's another good reason why you should follow each other on SoundCloud when we play each other's music. Wow. King of the build-ups. Because you think it's there, you think it's about to drop, but nuh-uh. You gotta wait. You better work. And he makes it work. He makes it work, darling. Just amazing. Yeah. Really, really well done. Very interesting. You need this. You need this. Especially in quite formulaic music like donk. We need a bit of something. We need a little bit of razzmatazz. We need you to take us into a place where we didn't think we were going to go, down the back alleys and into a roller coaster and then down a slide into a ball pit. You know what I mean? But make it musical. You know what I'm on about. And that's what he does, basically, in a nutshell. That's basically what he's doing here. Is we're going on a magical musical detour. Magical things happen in them alleys. Richie knows. He's been there. You better watch out past midnight in his overcoat. Nothing else. Just an overcoat and a smile, innit, Richie? Yeah, a ball pit filled with candy. Absolutely. Ball pits are disgusting. I used to work in a wacky warehouse, says Tony. Oh, God. I don't want to know. I bet they are, though. I've heard some stories. The vagina at midnight. The mangina at midnight. Brilliant. Oh. I bet they are disgusting. You don't think that, though, do you, when you're, like, in them? Do they have shit in them? Asking all the important questions. I actually would like to know this. I'd like to just wait and find out about that. What's the worst thing that someone's left in a ball pit? If you were like that, if you were a bit mental and you didn't care, you were like, do you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. You get intrusive thoughts, but you don't do it. You don't shit in the ball pit at Wacky Warehouse. Someone will. You might not. You might go, do you know what, oh, that would be hilarious, but I'm still not going to do it because, I've got some self-respect. Girlfriend's here, having on our third date. I don't think it's the right time to be doing shits in a ball pit, wacky warehouse. But one person, it's a numbers game, isn't it? It's a numbers game. Someone's going to do it. Spit. Someone's going to do it. Oh, the kids don't bother to use the loo, shall we say? Oh, this is it, right? An adult does it, they get arrested. A kid does it, it's fine. Wow. The place stank. I bet it did. Oh, my God. Wow. The things you don't know that you don't know. Yeah. Ugh. Norovirus. Oh, I'm just glad that my kids are grown up now and I don't need to do stuff like that. Yeah. The six monthly total clean out was interesting. I can imagine. Oh my God. Wow. Well, there you go. Bit of a public service announcement there. Stay away from Wacky Warehouse, ball pits. You don't want to get ill. Kambel, absolutely loved it. I love how we've gone from shitting in fucking... It was my fault because I was talking to... Oh, that was it. Thank you. I've gone back off my tangent now. So I was originally saying about the twists and the turns, metaphorically, that DJ Kambel's music takes us on. And the finer irony of that was I went on my own little tangent, as we all did, in regards to talking about the twists and turns of the tangents, the musical tangents of said Kambel tune. You gotta love being neuroatypical there, haven't you? It is fun. Do you know what's really fun about it? It's when you're aware that you did the tangent and then you can find the thread of thought back to where you were at. Because then you go, how did I do that from that to there? Like oh shit! It's ace, isn't it? It's not fun when you don't know you're doing it, but the more self-aware you become of the tangents, it's like, what? It's cool, isn't it? I like it. I like it when I'm actually aware of it. Yeah, it's fun. But yeah, make sure you're following DJ Kambel, please, because he's made a lot more tunes in this kind of style. So yeah, awesome work, mate. Thank you. Martin's always going off on a tangerine. Oh, I bought some tangerines. I forgot about clementines. What's the difference? I need to just Google this. What's the difference between tangerines and clementines? ? Clementines and tangerines are both mandarin orange varieties, but clementines are smaller, sweeter, brighter orange with smoother, thinner, easier to peel skin, often seedless, while tangerines are typically larger, deeper orange, slightly tangy, bitter with a slight tougher, looser, pebbly peel, making them a bolder choice for flavour. Okay, I didn't know that. So I want clementines then. I think I did get clementines. There you go. Ooh, Satsuma. Okay, yeah, let's okay. What is the difference between tangerines, Satsumas and clementines? Got a 3-way now. Satsumas, oh my God, thank you. Satsumas are the easiest to peel. With loose skin, sweet and juicy. Clementines are smaller, sweet and often seedless. So I still think I need clementines because I don't like the seeds. Watermelon's great, but it's got a high glycemic index. Thingamabob. It's high in glycerin. So I prefer glyconic. Thank you. Words are difficult, you know. Yeah, so okay, clementines it is. Easy peelers. Jaffas, yes, Jaffas, thank you. Satsumas in the supermarket, no seed. Okay, cool. I'll look into it. I'll let you know how I get on with my Satsuma journey. The reason why we're doing it again, but it's fine. The reason why I am eating more of these things is I have a thing on my phone now called Nutra app. This app, and every day I put in so my calorie allowance for a day is 1,700 calories, and then I put it all in the app. And I realised quite quickly, I was like, okay, well, I could actually eat 10 clementines, or I could eat one biscuit. Sometimes I still have one biscuit. Sometimes I'll still have 10 biscuits. But the point is, I'm making healthier choices now. And that for me is brilliant because I'm eating really well. And so you can just have limitless fruit basically. As long as it's not, I mean, I love melon as well. I know someone mentioned about melon, but I do find eating clementines will satiate me. The fibre is brilliant. but going to the toilet better than biscuits and stuff, especially at our age. So I just find that it helps me to make better decisions with my food. Hi Weavy, I just got Carrie Scales work with an app called Kuru. Cool. Yeah, anything like that is helpful. It's exactly, Karsten. It's mindful eating. It's making better choices. But the thing is now, it's like a game because I know how many calories I have, and I have to reach a certain amount of protein a day as well. But it's like a little game. I've got this many calories. I've got to make them last. But I find that helpful to have things not written down in an app, so I can glance at it. But be careful with that app. A lot of people say it messes with their head. I will be careful. Yes, I will be careful. I don't think that I'll have any problems using that app. I'd be fine. I've done a lot of things and I've seen a lot of stuff, and I don't think there's anything remotely dangerous about me being more mindful about the food that I'm eating. Quite the opposite. It's been really, really helpful for me to, like we just said there, make better decisions with my food. And it's a design for life. I don't believe in diets, but diets can be great. But in the early on days, but you've got to change your eating habits at the end of the day. You've got to make better decisions with your food. So yeah, everyone's different, but I don't have a fear-based mindset around the app. The app doesn't rule me. I'll give an example. Today I went over by, what day is it? Oh, I've got 17 calories. Oh, no, I haven't got any calories left today. I went over by oh no, I've got 17 calories left. If I go over, it's fine. It's not a problem. It's just a kind of it helps me to be mindful, because I don't know about you, but do you eat without realizing you're eating? Do you just go in the kitchen and you just absent-mindedly go to the fridge and chomp on some ham or cheese? Was my one. Don't do that anymore. I'm being very present with my food. I do that with Merlot, says Eric. Brilliant. See, James says I'm like that with beer. Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's allowing you to be more present with your food, to be more thoughtful about what you're putting in your body. So I just find it really helpful, but everyone's different. Next track we've got is Antimatt, and this is called Get Smashed. go. That was Antimatt and Get Smashed. Awesome tune. So Matt is, I'm playing for him actually next weekend or the weekend after. DJ Sol, who is in the chat, is also playing. Let me just get the date right. It's at Beaverworks if anyone isn't doing anything and wants to come. 17th of January. It's going to be awesome. Loads of amazing DJs on the lineup. And yeah, so this is the promoter, Antimatt, and the event's called Antimatter. So it's an awesome hard house tune. This really, really like it. I love the Hoover, and someone said about it being stretched. It's really, really cool, and where the Hoover started, like coming up each semitone in like weird places that kind of like took me off guard a little bit in a really nice way. Yeah, it's really, really cool. Very cheeky, very in your face, lots of cool stabs in it. Big fan. I like this one.